Understanding the Indigenous economy, a gateway to growth. Discover the vast contributions of Indigenous peoples to Canada's economy and learn how financial institutions can support and engage with this vital economic force. Economic sovereignty, building financial bridges. Explore the importance of Indigenous economic sovereignty and how your institution can contribute to self-determined growth for Indigenous communities. Indigenous procurement strategies, driving inclusive growth. Learn how adopting Indigenous procurement practices fosters inclusive growth, enhances corporate social responsibility, and aligns with reconciliation goals. Revenue sharing agreements, creating win-win solutions. Master the frameworks for equitable revenue sharing agreements that empower Indigenous communities while delivering measurable benefits for your organization. Nation building through economic partnerships. Understand the role of financial institutions in supporting Indigenous nation building and contributing to sustainable development. Social procurement in financial services. Discover how integrating social procurement into your operations can create long-lasting community benefits while enhancing your organization's reputation. Partnership models for financial institutions and Indigenous communities. Learn the art of crafting mutually beneficial partnerships that prioritize respect, trust, and shared economic success. Indigenous innovation, unlocking a new frontier. Gain insights into how Indigenous-led innovation is transforming industries and how financial institutions can support this emerging market. Building Indigenous AI hubs for business. Learn how financial institutions can support or establish Indigenous AI hubs for business to nurture Indigenous entrepreneurship and create lasting economic impact. Achieving economic inclusion, a roadmap for financial institutions. Equip your organization with strategies to eliminate barriers and foster equitable access for Indigenous peoples in the financial sector. Cultural competency for financial professionals. Develop a deep understanding of Indigenous traditions, protocols, and values to build stronger relationships with Indigenous clients and partners. Developing reconciliation action plans, or RAPs. Craft actionable, effective RAPs that align with corporate goals while advancing reconciliation and Indigenous economic engagement. Equity partnerships, a financial institution's guide. Learn how to build equity partnerships that empower Indigenous stakeholders and create value for all parties involved. Implementing TRC Call to Action 92 for financial institutions. Understand the specific responsibilities of financial institutions under TRC Call to Action 92 and implement policies that reflect these commitments. UNDRIP in practice, a financial perspective. Master the application of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples in the financial sector to support reconciliation efforts. Impact benefit agreements for financial institutions. Learn how to facilitate and finance impact benefit agreements that provide measurable value to Indigenous communities and stakeholders. Innovative infrastructure financing for Indigenous communities. Let's explore financing models for infrastructure projects that prioritize community needs and create long-term value. Meaningful economic reconciliation partnerships. Discover how to build partnerships that foster trust, equity, and mutual economic growth with Indigenous communities. Supporting digital Indigenous entrepreneurs. Understand the unique needs of Indigenous tech startups and how financial institutions can support their success in the digital economy. CSR in reconciliation financial sector best practices. Learn how to integrate reconciliation into corporate social responsibility strategies to build meaningful relationships with Indigenous communities. DEI strategies for Indigenous inclusion in finance. Implement diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies that prioritize Indigenous perspectives, employees, and clients. Indigenous financing programs, unlocking potential. Explore financing tools and programs designed to support Indigenous entrepreneurs and community-led economic initiatives. Building Indigenous Economic Development Corporations, or EDCs. Learn how financial institutions can support the growth and sustainability of EDCs to drive community-led economic prosperity. Urban Indigenous economies, unique challenges and opportunities. Understand the specific economic needs of urban Indigenous populations and how to tailor financial solutions to meet them. Technology-driven reconciliation strategies. Discover how to leverage technology to drive reconciliation, from digital banking solutions to virtual engagement tools. Indigenous workforce development for financial institutions. Develop initiatives to recruit, retain, and empower Indigenous talent within your organization. Indigenous corporate collaboration lessons in success. Learn from real-world case studies of successful collaborations and how to replicate their success in your institution. Sustainable resource development financing. Understand the role of financial institutions in supporting ethical and sustainable resource projects in Indigenous territories. Economic self-reliance through financial inclusion. Learn how to design financial products and services that promote economic independence and self-reliance for Indigenous clients. Indigenous knowledge in modern business practices. Incorporate Indigenous knowledge systems into financial decision-making to create culturally aligned and impactful solutions. Building partnerships in economic growth. Master the skills to forge partnerships that align financial institutions with Indigenous economic goals and values. Creating innovation ecosystems for Indigenous entrepreneurs. Support networks that foster collaboration, innovation, and scalability for Indigenous-led businesses. Indigenous economic empowerment, a financial approach. Discover financial strategies to empower Indigenous communities and foster sustainable economic growth. Designing Indigenous investment strategies. Learn how to develop investment products and portfolios that prioritize Indigenous-led businesses and initiatives. Ethical partnerships, a guide for financial institutions. Gain insights into creating ethical, sustainable, and mutually beneficial partnerships with Indigenous peoples. Inclusive growth models for financial institutions. Design growth models that ensure Indigenous communities are integral to your institution's success. Capacity building in Indigenous economies. Discover programs and partnerships that enhance financial literacy and economic capacity in Indigenous communities. Reconciliation action plans for financial institutions. Create RAPs that align with your organization's mission and support Indigenous economic engagement at all levels. Indigenous wealth management services. Learn to design wealth management services tailored to the unique needs of Indigenous clients, emphasizing long-term growth and sustainability. Social impact investing in Indigenous communities. Explore how to integrate social impact investing into your financial strategies to support Indigenous-led projects and initiatives. These courses are essential tools for financial institutions committed to reconciliation. They not only address compliance with reconciliation frameworks, but also unlock opportunities for meaningful engagement and economic growth. This is your institution's chance to lead in reconciliation and build a legacy of trust, equity, and prosperity. Learn more at https://bearstandingtall.